What's good, team? It's your man Free, back with another storytime video. And today, like I promised, we got my version of the labor delivery story of our beautiful princess Lyric. Make sure you comment down below whether stories or anything else y'all want to know about the whole process. Hopefully I get it all covered from my end, which y'all will want to know. Shout out to everybody who showed love on Lolo's Storytime that did big things. So wanted to say I appreciate each and every one of y'all. But anyway, let's get into the story. So she told me to start with when they called her about being induced. So that's what I'm gonna do. When they called, how did I really feel? I wouldn't say scared. I was more excited than anything because I know when somebody gets induced, that means that it's time to get cracking. The baby about to be here. And she was already 38 weeks, so it's not like I really had anything really to be nervous about. As far as we knew, the doctor said everything was fine. They just wanted to start getting the process going of her delivery. So cool, we did that. Well, she did that. Anyway, she started to get real sick of going to do that thing every single day. And honestly, she's strong. Through this whole story, the common theme will be she's stronger than I can ever be. I'm proud of her, etc., etc. Because I am. I mean, I couldn't do that. Having somebody all up in my special space every single day, stretching me out and all that stuff just looked painful. But anyway, alright, so finally, I think it was a Thursday. Yeah, it was a Thursday. She didn't have to go to the doctor's appointment. The doctor said, yeah, delivery, see you Saturday. So she had 2 days off. So, yeah, some inducing took place and some natural inducing took place. And that night, I mean, literally, she started having contractions. So, I could say I helped a lot in that, you know, in the process of getting my daughter here. I was a big contributor of that in a way. So anyway, that night it was like, oh snap, it's getting real. Plus she didn't even know what the real contractions she was having until that Wednesday or Tuesday before all of this. So she started having contractions, you know, light ones, and they were spaced out, but labor was getting started. So I was like, all right, here we go. So Friday, got her, was with her all day. Literally, I mean, every time I thought she was having one, I wrote it down. If I wasn't sure, I would ask her, but I was not trying to talk to her, none. I was just gonna let her have her space. If she needed me, I told her to ask me, I would do it, whatever. But when women starting labor, compared to all the shows I've watched and all the other stuff, she handled it like a champ. They say you're supposed to wait until 5 minutes, your contractions are 5 minutes, for a whole hour before you call. But most women apparently don't do that. They call when they're 7, they call when they 10, whatever. But this girl stayed in that bed for a whole day having contractions. Basically, as the doctor said, laboring by herself. So kudos to her for that. Proud of her for that. Because she said she wanted to have a natural delivery at first, knew that was going to happen. But she halfway did it. So let's give her credit for that. So anyway, I keep telling her maybe we should call. This is when the contractions was 5 to 7 minutes apart. Maybe we should call the doctor, Let's go, because I'm nervous at this point, shorty, you about to have this baby in my bed, and I'm not no doctor. So, I finally convinced her to call the doctor. She no, you call. So I'm like, all right, bet. It's the least I could do right now. So cool, call the doctor. He said, I'm in my office right now, so y'all can stop by so I can see if I need to send y'all to the hospital. So I'm like, all right, please do not let us go here. And he said, nope, not ready, need to go back home. So we went there. He said she was 5 centimeters dilated and she was ready to go, ready to have a baby. So from there, went to the hospital. Y'all saw when we got to the hospital. I wasn't nervous at this point. I was a little excited, but I knew the process could take a while. And plus, I just wanted to be supportive for her. So I just chilled when she was having real bad contractions, when they were monitoring her, throwing some Thundercat, you know, something real smooth for her and the baby to vibe out to, you know. Then after that, we put her in her delivery room and we waited. They did a whole bunch of hooking her up to stuff, and they had to pump her with some fluid so she could go to the bathroom. And maybe like an hour and a half maybe after they got her in her room. Yeah, I would say maybe an hour and a half after they got her in her room. Like, people started acting weird, in my opinion. Like, something wasn't wrong. Like, they hooked her up, well, hooked Lyric up to this contraction thing, I guess through her head or something. I don't know where they actually put it in her body. Basically monitor her contractions from the inside. And it wasn't picking up nothing. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. And then the doctor just kept coming in there and looking at it, staring at it. So, you know, of course, I can't show that I'm like worried, like, what's going on? Gotta keep my straight face on. You know, I'm here for you. We good, she good, we gonna be all right. So, they waiting for something. Meanwhile, Epidural man come in, get the epidural in her. She don't feel a thing. The Epidural man messed up. Mind you, he gonna talk about stay completely still. 2 minutes later, while he messing up, while fixing his mess up. Don't move, don't move. Like, yo, you should have been done and not messed up so she could move. But anyway, got the epidural, handled it like a champ, of course. That's my girl. Man, it was time to just wait for delivery, like, for them to say, I don't know what the process is after the epidural, but her process went like this. Got the epidural kicked in, the lady was like, okay, doctor came in, doctors looked at the screen like I was saying, like, did like something weird, then the nurse said, the doctor came in again like 15 minutes later, the nurse said, nope, it didn't happen yet. And then the doctor was like, okay, well, let's just go anyway. So then he walks out, maybe 5 minutes later. Like, when I tell you, everybody that works on that floor came into the room. Like, nurses started coming in, like, okay. No, actually, the one nurse walks out the room and says, we're gonna have a baby. 5 minutes later, not even 5, wasn't that long. It's just maybe time was slow. Like, time was slowed down. Maybe 2 minutes later, because it all happened so quick. Another reason why I couldn't record. Like, when I tell you this thing happened quick, like, stuff started going down. Like, doctor came in there, looked at the screen, and of course I'm worried, so I'm not thinking, oh, let me record this. Like, no, I'm worried about my baby and my baby. So, yeah, we're gonna have a baby. All these nurses and stuff start filing in. And then the doctor comes in, he was like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. They start pulling, like, the bed she was laying on apart, so like the bottom half of her body is like hanging off. And then they start getting all these machines and tools. So at this point, I'm like, oh, like, we really, like, it's really about to get real. So he's like explaining all this information to her real quick. And like, I'm trying to listen, but I'm trying to look at her, and I'm trying to figure out like what's going on, why they rushing this. So the lady put the little leg things up. Her sister, I think, no, I don't think her sister was. No, her sister was in the corner somewhere with my mother and her mother. But I think one of the nurses had one of her legs, and the lady was like, you wanna hold her leg? So like, I'm trying to still pay attention to everything that's going on. So I'm like halfway like, yeah. So then I like halfway grab her leg. But then, as soon as I grab the leg, like the doctor's like right there, like, all right, push. So I see the nurse or whoever on the other side of me like yank her leg back. So I'm like, okay, I'm not about to yank it. So I like kind of pulled it up. And then I swear to God, like, and I don't really like to swear to God, personal thing, but I swear to God, after the first push, I seen like this black, like a scalp. But it was like a mutated scalp because it was so thin, and it was like, not to get too graphic, but like right in the opening, you could see the head, and it was like, wow. So I look at her, like after the first push, and I'm like, okay, you almost done. Like after the first push, I'm telling her like, you're almost done. Like, so then she pushes again, and their head starts to like come out, but it's like a real like cone. Like it was shaped like this. Like it was so weird. And like I'm looking at it from my view, and I'm not feeling like queasy or nothing. I don't think. How can I explain this? I was so shocked, and like I don't even know what the feeling was. It was shocked. It was nervous. It was excited. It was. I don't know what I was. I don't know how to explain it. But I was everything. I was trying to focus on her, holding the leg right, looking like directly to make sure everything was good, but trying to look in the mirror to get a better view to make sure everything was good. So while I'm doing all of that, at their second push, the head's almost out. So right at their second push, he says, okay, give me one more push. Like basically like she's almost here, just gotta get her out. So then like while she's pushing, he just grabs her out. And like, you know, when you grab a baby out, they're supposed to just start crying. Of course, Lyric being stubborn, like my child and Jelani's child, I don't know, she just didn't start crying right away. So then the doctor said, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, let's wake her up. So I'm thinking, wake her up? She should already be up. Like, what are you talking about? So like, I'm trying to focus on her to make sure she doesn't notice that she's not crying like right away, and to make sure that she's good. Then look in the corner in the peanut gallery where, you know, all the people, and they like are like confused too, like what? So then I'm trying to focus on her, make sure she's good. Everybody is like doing a real good job, well, I guess not a real good job, because they do probably do this every single day, but they just knew what they was doing. So shout out to everybody at Harbor Hospital for doing what they do. But anyway, maybe the longest 5 to 10 seconds of my life, we heard the first cry. It was beautiful. It was amazing. It was great. It was terrific. And my best Donald Trump impression. But it was all of that. When she first came out, like, being scared to hold a child is an understatement. Like, she was so little and so fresh and new, and I just wanted the nurses and Jelani to do everything they wanted to do first. Like, everybody, like, I didn't even want to like touch her. Like, I just stared at her the whole time, like, just staring. And like I still do now, because that's my girl. Yup, that's my girl. And I, like people say, I had a big part in creating her, which is very true. So, long story short, this wasn't really my story to tell. It was just from my perspective. It was Lolo's story. And I just want to say thank you to her for, you know, carrying my daughter for a long, probably to her, 8 months. A labor that was probably scary, but she handled it like a champ. All the pain that she's going through back then, that she's probably going through now, dealing with that little crazy one with all of her day-night confusion. But that's another story for another day. But I just want to say thank you. Also, thank you to everybody again for your continued support, well wishes, prayers, etc., etc. We do appreciate it and feel it over here. I, for one, ever since we found out, have been excited to start this new chapter, not only with her and Lyric, but also with y'all, just to continue to try to be, you know, the examples that, you know we can be. So hopefully with this new stage in our life, we'll be able to do that and show y'all how 2 young new parents thug it out through, you know, parenthood. Because we ain't perfect, never gonna be. But one thing we are gonna do is love that little girl to the end, make sure she's always good, and she'll be alright if we do those 2 things. So, with all of that, a couple questions off the top of my head that I can answer. Did I cry? No, still haven't. While I was dealing with all of this stuff, some of you may know, my father passed away. So literally 4 days before Lyric was born, my father passed away. So dealing with funeral stuff, all of that other stuff, I would say by default, yeah, I cried, just because your daughter being born and then the next day you gotta go to your father's viewing. That's the craziest feeling ever. So yeah, I cried for her grandfather, but other than that, no, I really ain't cried. I've just been really overjoyed, really happy, just enjoying and being grateful for the moment, because I know a lot of people don't get this opportunity, and I'm not gonna mess it up. Nope. So anyway, did I cry? Boom. How did I feel? When people ask that question, it's like it don't matter how I felt. Like, it was all about Lolo. It was all about making sure she was good, making sure that she was comfortable in any way possible. And I think I did a good job of doing that, especially while we was home. And shout out to Nevaeh Dent, who said, "Were you scared for Lolo through the process?" or something like that. I paraphrase. But yes, if you couldn't tell through that story, another theme was I was nervous, scared for her, but I couldn't show it. Like, even when we had the doctor's appointments when they first started inducing her, all the way up to pushing and after she came out with the no cry. And the umbilical cord, left that out. Umbilical cord was tied in a knot. The umbilical cord, I was saying that weird, but it was tied in a knot. So I don't know how that works, but I know the umbilical cord is like very vital to supplying nutrients and food and whatever a baby needs. Like, they get it through the umbilical cord, which hence probably is why Lyric was a little underweight. But nevertheless, our little miracle baby came. We were grateful, we were thankful, and we're thankful for all of y'all. So thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that like button if you enjoy it. Comment down below all the videos y'all want to see from the Freeman family. We got a new channel coming up, so I want y'all to stay tuned for that. And when it comes up, I already know all the little ones is going to be on it. Yeah, just a little space that we can drop all our vlogs and challenges and just our family day-to-day life stuff. But it's going to start on this channel, so make sure that notification bell was turned on. Make sure you subscribe before you leave, because it's about to get real. Every day, fresh, new content. It's not going to be stale. You never know what you're going to get, whether it's going to be a vlog, a story, a reaction, a challenge. I just want y'all to be ready. Enjoy this ride. We appreciate all 90,000 of y'all. We getting strong. 100K is on the way. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you always love. And until next time, we gonna catch y'all with another whatever video. I'll holla.